Hey guys, and welcome to Saints TV. Welcome to the review. Just finished at Marvel Stadium against the Eagles, and the final score was Saints 70, West Coast 88. So it was an 18-point loss, which is, when you look at the scoreboard, you're like, wow, we really got within a chance of actually winning, and it wasn't as bad as, what the scoreboard was looking probably towards the end of that third quarter, but I thought we fought really hard. We made some just idiotic decisions going inside 50, which is the common thing. I don't even need to really tell you guys about that, because that's kind of a thing that just happens. We work our asses off out of defense, and we actually did well out of defense to rebound. A lot of quick hands from Savage. Wilkie played really well. I thought Webster was great. I thought Brown did well on Kennedy, and Darling was well held, and I thought that was Battles. Again, he keeps doing it week by week, but that was his best game for us. Again, he had, 9 marks. Bruce, 10 marks. Membry was oddly quiet. Membry, Matty Parker, Ben Long, Dean Kent to an extent, all extremely poor. Matty Parker, I didn't realize he was playing until we took that mark in the last quarter. Ben Long, I think it's his time to go back to Sandy. I think we need to look at the likes of Robbie Young and Nick Hind. Dunstan came in after playing for Sandy, and I thought he did really well. And he had 32 possessions or 32 or 26 possessions. He generally played a very good game. Seb Ross, most disposals on the ground, and again, butchered it by foot so many times. Billings stood up. I'm just rounding off sort of the players that I thought played well. I thought Billings stood up in the clinches and kicked an amazing goal late, and a clutch goal in the last quarter as well to get us within a sniff. But just generally, I think the difference tonight wasn't that West Coast were better. They were just more. They were cleaner, and that seems to be the case with every game that we play, is that we're not out of the game in terms of effort, in terms of getting enough of the ball, in terms of getting enough chances. It's execution and just game smarts. There were times where we needed to go and we didn't. There were times where we needed to slow it down, but we went fast and it turned the ball over and it hurt us down the other way. So I think it's just game management and just game smarts that we lack today. And West Coast, reigning premiers for a reason. They took advantage of those little mistakes, the little lapses in concentration. For instance, third quarter, we get within a goal, and then by the end of the third quarter, it's a 30-point deficit, and the game's almost done. So there's just those little moments in games, the 5-10 minute periods that cost us, and it's just disappointing. I'm not too, when we looked at the fixture and we saw we had West Coast, we had Collingwood, we had GWS. GWS were within 14, 15 points midway through the third. Come to West Coast within a goal midway through the third. Adelaide, we were 20 up at quarter time. Collingwood next week, who struggled against Carlton. So I don't think we've been bad in this tough stretch, in this tough list of games that we've copped. And hopefully we've learnt a lot. But I could definitely see tonight big improvement from last week on switching the ball in terms of intensity and running, and we wanted to go through the middle a lot, which I really liked. We really took a lot of high risk kicks into the middle of the ground, and a lot of them did pay off, some of them didn't, but I like that we took the risk, because last week and even against Adelaide in the latter part of the game, we were too scared, we were too slow, too reluctant to take the game on, and tonight we took the game on as much as we could have, and it got us within 18 points of a team that won everything last season. So pretty happy about that. Let's go through some of these comments. I'll try and keep it short. Ben says, will Jack Stephen be at the Cats next year? Apparently so. I'm not sure. That's not really relevant to the game tonight, so I'm not really thinking about that. Adam says, time for Long to be dropped. I sadly agree with you, but I think in a few years he will be a very good player, but didn't do enough tonight. If Stephen goes, what is he worth? Again, I don't know. He'd be a top 20 pick. I'm not sure what Geelong have to offer. Pete says, surely Hine and Young come in against the Pies, need some run and gun players to take the game on. Long just isn't up to it yet. I agree with that. I think Young and Hind have deserved their call-up. They've been good for Sandy all season. It's going to be interesting to see how Max King goes. He debuts for Sandy at full forward tomorrow, so hopefully he kicks a bag and we see him run out for the Saints in a couple of weeks, which would be incredible. Emily says Long needs to be dropped. Bring Hind in next week, 100%. That would be the change I would make. Is Hind, who's fast, can use the ball, can accumulate the ball, and he can play back, he can play forward, he can play on the wing. So he's very versatile. So that'd be a good pick for me. Bo says we had more inside 50s. We need to convert them into goals. 100%. That's our problem all the time. Shane says we lost that for ourselves. Didn't pull the trigger in the third like we needed to. Bring in Bailey Rice. Could be an interesting one. He's played forward for Sandy all season, essentially full forward, so he would be used to the forward structure. He could be a swap for Ben Long. Whole team needs to be dropped, says Robbie. That's not possible, I don't think, unless you just swap it for Sandy and bring them all in. Luke says piss poor effort. Well done to Dunstan to having a crack. I agree with that. Dunstan answered the critics today, and he's definitely keeping his spot for next week. Ross should be up for trade. Don't know about that. Robbie says useless. Tim says I was looking for you, brother. Actually, funnily enough, someone sitting in front of me follows Saints TV, and he saw me and he showed me a post of me and my girlfriend, who it was her first game. Sadly, it was a loss, but I think she enjoyed it, but hopefully she'll see a win very soon. Grant says your heart looks as broken as mine. I don't think I'm that heartbroken. I'm devastated. I'm sad that we lost, but I don't think we lost that badly. Bo says the amount of handballs to a player who was about to be tackled is unbelievable. Ross was a big part of that. He handballed a lot when he didn't need to. Kerry says poor skills in our forward half and some interesting shots at goal. Definite improvement over last week, though. When we have our captain back for the leadership and our full list will be competitive. Lance says Nunes needs a long overdue spell. Ryan says where's the misso? She was too shy to be on camera, so she's just waiting for me to finish this up. And then that's it. Not here. Cameron says handball to stationary players killed us. Pete says Eagles had too many players out the back with plenty of space. For some reason, we seem to leak transition goals a lot, which deflates the players' spirit. Daniel says we are short and too slow. Kerry says those umpires, though, to be fair, I can't believe it took that for me to be reminded how fucking shit the umpires were. The amount of calls, that goal that they didn't give us, where it was clearly kicked and they did not touch it, was ridiculous. And the amount of free kicks in the forward 50 for West Coast that they got directly in front of goal was atrocious. We never get those. Patrick says we need two Bruces. He took so many great contested marks on the wing, but then we had no one in the 50 to clunk them. That's where Max King's going to be, and I cannot wait for that to happen because we need another target. Membry was shut down and couldn't do what he usually does, and having another outlet like Max King is going to be very, very handy. Elaine says, I thought it was gutsy effort. After all, Eagles won the grand final last year. Exactly. Sean says, very ordinary today, especially Gresham. Every disposal wasted. Long, Nunes and a few others poor. Bruce and Membry need to start making the ball in the 50. We lacked class. I think lacking the A-grade class did hurt us. Bruce stopped being a passenger for once. Have you seen our run for the next few weeks ahead? A few more losses if we play like this. I think against Collingwood is going to be interesting because we like playing at the MCG. We use that space really well. So, and based on how Carlton went today, I don't see why we can't, get close to Collingwood. That goal actually came off a West Coast boot, not long. Okay. I thought it was ours. How good is Billings becoming, says Raul. I think he's becoming the player we always wanted him to become. He's becoming a leader. He's kicked 2 big goals in that last quarter and done everything we've asked for him. So hopefully he keeps it up for the season. But I think he'd be close to leading the best and fairest right now. And I think, if we want to keep him, we're going to offer him big money to re-sign, and hopefully he doesn't go anywhere anytime soon. I'm going to leave it there, guys. Keep it short. I'm not entirely disappointed. I liked the effort in that last quarter. West Coast could easily have put the foot to the throat and really blown it out, but we really defended well, I thought, for the most part of the game, apart from that 10-minute period where they kicked those goals late and got that gap that, in the end was just too much to ring back. But I thought we played well. We tried hard. It was just execution. Once we get the likes of Hannahs, we get the likes of Stephen back, Carlisle, Max King, that lineup, that spine looks really strong, so I'm super keen for that to happen. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Keep commenting, and I'll answer them when I can. Thanks so much for watching. Who have we got next week? Collingwood, so preview Thursday night. I'll see you then. Thanks, guys.